Hey guys, Parallel here. I'm going to talk to you today about the UA Monk hero for the 7 Hero Support series. This build is the second substitution hero that I will be going over, and the last substitution hero that I will be going over. That is like one of the more commonly known builds. So, what you would do is you would replace your your Necromancer Ritualist, otherwise known as the Cursus Resto that we went over in the, I believe, first video, and you would replace it with this healer because you want to. Honestly, this is a preference-based substitution. It all depends on what you want to do, but it's another form of healer, and it just plays a little differently, so it really depends on what you want in your team. So let's get down right to it. This build focuses around Unyielding Aura, that is why it's called the UA Monk. Unyielding Aura says, while you maintain this enchantment, your monk spells heal for 57% more health. When this enchantment ends, one random other party member is resurrected with full health and energy and teleported to your location. So, basically ensuring that if someone were to die, this will... it's a pseudo-resurrection, but in the other case, it's just you heal for a lot. It boosts all your other heals to do a lot more, and that makes it really strong for an enchantment spell, along with being the pseudo-resurrection, which will come up a bunch of times. And then we have Dwayna's Kiss. He'll target other ally for 48 health and an additional 28 health for each enchantment or hex on that ally. We have some enchantment people on our team, especially if you sub in, say, like the Elementalist Monk that we went over in the last video. So this will give additional health based on the enchantments. Also the hexes that will be hurting us, if we happen to have one of those, it will also heal for additional. But it's also just a flat 48 heal, which is pretty good. Then we have Signet of Rejuvenation. Heal target ally for 59. Target ally is casting a spell or attacking. Ally is healed for an additional 59 health, so it basically doubles the heal if the ally is casting a spell or attacking, which you're going to be casting this in combat, so you are always going to be attacking or casting a spell, so it will always be that double heal, which makes it really strong. Plus it's a Signet, so it's instant cast, which is very powerful. Next we have Patient Spirit. For 2 seconds, target ally is enchanted with Patient Spirit. Unless this enchantment ends prematurely, that ally is healed for 96 health when the enchantment ends. So, 2 seconds, and then they heal. Kind of like the bomb theory that we went over, except this bomb is good, not bad. You drop it, and it heals you for 96. Pretty good. Then we have Divine Healing, which we've gone over before, but heal yourself and party members within earshot for 57 points. Just a cheap AoE heal for 5 energy, and it's pretty good. Then we have Heaven's Delight. Heals you and your party members within earshot for 57 points. It's the exact same thing as as Divine Healing, but we have a second one, so we have these two AoE heals working and coinciding along each other, and these are both extremely powerful. Next we have Power Drain, which is why we are a Monk Mesmer. If I didn't mention that before, you do want to be a Monk Mesmer. But we go down the Mesmer chain to get access to Power Drain. If target foe is casting a spell or chant, that skill is interrupted and you gain 17 energy. So it's a cheap interrupt for 5 energy, along with having that net gain of 12 energy to allow you to have that energy management, which we need to be able to keep our healing going. And then we have Leech Signet. Interrupt target foe's action. If that action was a spell, you gain 9 energy. This costs nothing. So, again, more cheap energy gain of 9 energy for the net gain, along with being a cheap interrupt, so you'll have this guy interrupting along with all these heals and being able to keep everybody alive, especially with Divine Healing and Heaven's Delight, being able to AoE heal and not having to just focus on one person at a time, making this this build really good. Unyielding Aura also being an extremely powerful enchantment spell. Then we have 12 in Divine Favor, 10 into Healing Prayers, and 8 in Inspiration Magic. And then going off of what I have, so what you should have for the weapon and the focus is you should have a Q9 Divine Favor Wand with 2020 and a Q9 Divine Favor Focus with 2020. I don't have this because I haven't had a chance to make it yet, but I figured I'd rather get the information out than just build it for my hero, because I haven't tested too much of the UA build, but it is really powerful when I've used it. And then finally we have the Survivor Insignias on each piece of our gear. In our helmet we have the Monk Rune of Minor Divine Favor, which will give us +1 to Divine Favor, and then a +1 stacking on top of that, because we are putting it on the helmet. And then we have a Monk Rune of Minor Healing Prayers, which will give us +1 to Healing Prayers. Then we have a Rune of Vigor, which can be a 30 HP, 41 HP, or 50 HP rune, just depends on how much money you're willing to spend. Vigor runes are getting a tad more expensive, but something to note is that in the early, something I haven't noted before, is that you can also just get Vigor runes cheaper by sitting in Kaineng, but there's also quests in Kaineng that will reward you with a Vigor rune if you started out in Nightfall, which is pretty cool. And then we have 2 runes of Vitae to give us that extra health that's pretty good to keep us alive. For this build, I use Dunkoro just because it's generally not a monk I'm going on to, so I like to keep this build just in case I want to bring in the UA monk for certain areas, or I just want to test it out, which I've been trying to do lately. But you can put it on any monk main set as long as they can be a mesmer subset, which all these people can. As long as it doesn't interfere with your other builds, I would generally recommend keeping this on a hero that you will, on a different hero than your other monk build, the Smiter monk, which is generally one of the things you're going to keep in your team most of the time. Dunkoro is unlocked through the Nightfall campaign relatively early. And that is going to be it for this video. Again, this was the UA monk. In the next video, I am going to be going over a more general look on the build as a whole, of the 7 hero support build as a whole and how it interacts with each other. But that has been all for the 7 hero support series in terms of builds. This will not be the last build video I do, as I will be looking at more builds, but it will not be centralized to the 7 hero support build. If you would subscribe down here, or like down here, messing up my fingers here, or give me a dislike or comment, whatever you guys need to do to let me know if my content is working or not. It helps me out, it helps you guys get better content, or it helps me know that what I'm currently doing is working so that I can expand on those ideas. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you the next time.